One of my favorite phases. It is time to rock. First, let me say thank you very much, Games Workshop, for using the Blood Angels as your example of charging units here. This is what frames the article on the Warhammer community site right now about the fight subphase. So this is after you've charged, after you've already moved your charge distance. We're now going to move into the fight phase, and this is. They point out a huge emphasis on making this even more bloody, an effective way to do damage on the table, even more than it's ever been. And what they do here is when you activate a unit, and I think it seems to indicate that you're going to get to pick as the controlling player which unit to activate when, but you'll get to move them an additional 3 inches to possibly bring them into 1 inch contact from even models you didn't charge in the charge phase. So you could break through an enemy line, and then when it gets time to do a pile-in move for another unit, you could potentially move them into contact with a unit that was not previously charged. This means that that unit would not be able to overwatch against you, and still bringing them into the combat. That's big, man. That is huge, because I mean, just to that, the momentum. If you were clever about it, it looks like you can really control the momentum. And if you're able to get units to activate over here, to maybe open up a line, to be able to come in there with another unit, I think that you're going to be able to cut through some of those gun lines and some of those bubble wrapping and picket line type situations that we were talking about before. Maybe even engage a tank or something. That's behind some of this gunfire, which I think we expect that vehicles may make a comeback. The article goes on to talk about how some weapons are going to be good at slicing through armor, and some weapons are going to be good at doing multiple wounds. Like the profile of the actual close combat weapons themselves are going to change. Which is cool. I mean, that's going to give some complexity and dynamics. I'm willing to bet we won't just see. Maybe staves will do 2 damage or something. Axes will do 2 damage and get a decent AP. Power fist may have a combination of both. Power weapons, power swords might just be something that could they can just cut through armor. We don't know, but the idea that they're going to take the mechanic they've given to shooting weapons and apply them to close combat weapons, I think it's expected, but it's really cool to have them mention it. And it says that you're going to have to be careful, and I bet, I mean, especially if you're one of these armies that just kind of packs in your deployment zone, you're going to have to really make some good choices and some good positioning to how you're going to avoid being drawn into these melees from a dedicated assault army. And so where we haven't seen anything about morale yet or breaking units, that's coming tomorrow. We don't know if you'll be able to like sweeping advance into other units, but just the fact that you might be able to draw units into the combat with an additional 3 inches of movement. I mean, let's think about that. I roll a 12 on my charge. I'm able to get what is essentially 13 inches. And then during my activation on my pile-in, I get 3 more inches. That's 16 inches off of a basic unit. This could be a unit of assault marines, could be a unit, I mean, who knows, berserkers may get some extra movement buff or whatever, but this is just a base unit. So you can make some pretty good plays, I think, late game or even strategic, or go for it. Fun moments that actually involve moving models, using your toys. Again, that's really what it's all about, is getting fun and enjoyment and use out of our things. We're not just putting things on the table just to be removed or kind of, whatever. Anyway, this is the dynamics they're adding into this it's really interesting to read about. So that's all we've got so far. It says the chargers, following chargers, players take in turns to activate the units across the board to fight. This can get quite tactical. So I guess it's a you go, I go activate type thing, maybe with stuff, as both players need to choose the combats where dealing maximum damage will be important to them while trying to limit enemy retaliation on their valuable or fragile models. And I think that's going to be real important. You might want to cause some combatants over on this side of the table to react, giving you the opportunity to either make sure that they can't get moved into this other fight, or you get them to where they come closer to you so you can move into them with, say, a unit of Terminators or Sanguinary Guard or something. This is some nuance and some depth that we have not seen in Warhammer Close Combat, Warhammer 40K Assault Phase, Fight Phase in quite some time, and I'm really looking forward to, again, this picture here with the Sanguinary Guard has inspired me to go and make sure they're ready for the tabletop with some paint. See you soon.